days later.
Well. Last night was the Golden Globes, and no one cares because nobody cares about celebrities backpatting themselves and telling everyone what a good person they are. But what I do think was interesting is Mark Ruffalo did receive an award. What for? Don't know, don't care. Saw his name trending, and I decided to take a look at what old Mark Ruffalo has been up to on Twitter. And he has been getting absolutely destroyed over the past week after knowingly, in my opinion, or which is bad enough, unknowingly, which is worse, sharing very obvious AI-generated images to try and smear Trump and refer and say he had returned or attended the island. You know, we'll talk about the island, you know, in reference. Now, you may remember Mark Ruffalo from a guy that cried and publicly mourned the passing of somebody that, well, we'll get into that a little bit later because I've got to figure out how to say it. But here we go. Mark Ruffalo, gross. Hashtag MAGA wants to paint everyone on those flights as the people that spend too much time around the playground, for example, except the one guy who smiles in a group of all young ones that's headed to the island with him. My bet is there's some decent Republicans left in America that may think it's going too far. So Mark Ruffalo gets absolutely fooled by these very obvious AI-generated images. And what I also think, so it gets community noted. He quote tweets somebody and it says, this person says, Trump headed to the island, 2 different flights, 2 different groups of young ones. Not his daughters, not his nieces. 100% untrue. This, I find, the community, it gets community noted, right? And it says, although these are authentic images of Trump with young people, these images are AI generated. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I would rate this community note as extremely unhelpful because they are, what does that even mean? They're authentic images, but they're AI generated? The 2 images were posted on a board back on the same day. The 2 images were posted on this, blah, 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 blah. No. 99.99% guarantee that they're AI generated. And also, there's no evidence of where that plane would even be going. I don't really know. Again, here's another one. This from 20 hours ago, AI generated, where you have Trump and Jeffrey and other individuals. He wasn't there. So I'm guessing, you know, so this is how pathetic the people are going. Also more AI generated images. Well, Mark Ruffalo decides to share it and gets absolutely ratioed into oblivion. Let's take a look at this guy, the quartering. Hey, R word, these are AI generated. Still missed that terrible individual JoJo. Carrie Smith, OMG, are you this stupid? Did you just share AI images of Trump? Well done, moron. These pics are AI generated. I mean, everybody, what's interesting to me about when people do this stuff is, you know, ultimately it always reminds me that AI is very frightening and our social media in particular is ill prepared to battle against it. There's absolutely good cases or, you know, righteous reasons or non-evil reasons to make AI images or to share AI images. They're fun, you know? But when it's being weaponized, you see here, and then they have another AI image of him. I mean, all these people are ratioing him into oblivion. Dude, you're sharing clearly fake AI images. I don't like Trump, but he was one of the first people to go to the police about Jeffrey and was one of the only ones that worked with prosecutors. Making politics out of what happens to young kids is disgusting. Yeah, I'd agree. You're a moron. There's nothing else. I'm just everybody. You're spreading an absolute lie, Mark. Not that you're bothered by that. And this is how you know he's not bothered by it. I have been fooled before. I've certainly shared things that were untrue on Twitter unknowingly. And you know what normal people do? I know this is wild. Normal people delete the tweet. And then we'll put like, crap, I got duped or something like that. Oops, sorry. I thought it was real. I just was, on my phone and I retweeted it and yeah, oopsie doopsie, no harm, no foul. But Mark Ruffalo leaves it up. He's not deleted the image because he doesn't care that it's false. All he does then is to quote tweet it and say, sorry, folks, apparently these images are AI fakes. The fact that Trump was on the plane and what he was up to is not. Be careful. Elon's X and his is allowing so much disinformation here. He's driving the value of the app down by 55%. I would say that Trump should sue him, probably, because he has refused to delete it even after. And then this is such a hilarious cope. Like, leave Twitter then, Mark. Go to Threads, and you can go over there and you can watch tumbleweeds blow around. All these weirdo, and by the way, he got ratioed into oblivion on that too. All these weirdo leftoid people talk about going to Threads or leaving, Twitter to go to Threads. You know what happens when they go to Threads? No one's there. Nobody's there. And so they come right back. And so they spend all day whining and complaining about sharing this. I mean, let's just look at this, like the cell phone here. Elon's X is allowing so much disinformation here, coming from the guy that shared the disinformation. Mark Ruffalo shared lies about Trump because in reality it was the Democrats like Bill Clinton who were the ones on the island. Now Ruffalo is blaming his lies on Elon Musk and X. Democrats never take responsibility for their own actions. You elitists in Hollywood seriously just can't admit that you got played. It's pathetic. Go back on strike. Does it register at all with you, Mark, that you are the source of the disinformation you are actually decrying? I don't even like these mofos, but man, it wasn't Elon Musk that did that. It was you. Now he's blaming Elon Musk. I mean, like everybody, and he tripled down. He tripled down on being, by the way, I don't think he was duped. I don't think he cares if it was right or wrong. I think that he has, of course, insane TDS. Remember now, this is a guy, you see Mark Ruffalo offers half-hearted apology after reposting AI-generated images of Trump with basically young ones to push a narrative that he was, in fact, there's like 100 Democrats on that list. And one Republican, or like Trump is their only guy. They're like, we're going to ignore what Harvey did. We're going to ignore all this stuff that goes on in Hollywood with the kids. We're going to ignore all this stuff because Trump might have done something over there. Like, so delusional. X's community note added some context to the original post, rather ambiguously noting that although the authentic images of Trump with young folks, these images are AI generated. The woke actor's knee-jerk reaction to the post did not bode well with other social media users who pointed out the images were fake and accused him of spreading misinformation. The Hulk is more real than these pictures. That Kevin Dalton mocked, alluding to Ruffalo's role in the Marvel movies. You're spreading an absolute lie, Mark. Not that you're bothered by that. I mean, just everybody, disinformation much. I mean, all it takes is a second. All it takes is a second to find out. Community notes, this is clearly not true. Zero evidence of Trump ever going to the island, and the pic is AI. Everyone knows the thing with Trump. He was on his plane twice. I don't think Jeffrey was even there, and he flew it. I think he flew from Florida to New York or something like that. He never flew to the island. And now we have testimony, by the way. We have testimony from people that were there that say they never saw him there. They never saw him at Jeffrey's house. They never saw him at any of the places where the bad stuff was going on. And if you look at what Trump has said about Jeffrey, you can see in this video, well, I knew him like everybody in Palm Beach knew him, said Trump upon being asked about Jeffrey. I mean, people in Palm Beach knew him. He was a fixture there. He then explained, I had a falling out with him a long time ago, declaring, I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years. I wasn't a fan. I was not a fan of his, that I can tell you, the former president reiterated. Trump also allegedly banned him from the Mar-a-Lago club in West Palm Beach because Jeffrey was inappropriate with a girl at the club, claimed legal documents. What else do you want Trump to do? Never forget this banger tweet from Mark Ruffalo, which received 31,000 comments to a mere 10,000 likes. We can come together to mourn the lives lost to the same racist system that devalues black lives and devalued the lives of Anthony, that's Anthony Huber, who, Kyle had to defend himself against, and JoJo. JoJo, all three of the people involved in this, by the way, were white, so it had nothing to do with racism, it had nothing to do with black people, I'll say. And I believe JoJo was also the white guy repeatedly calling Kyle the N-word, hard R, if I remember correctly. He still left the JoJo tweet up. And, I don't want to go into the specifics of the details of what JoJo did to young boys. That is public record, okay? And it is appalling. And in my opinion, I will not lose any sleep over the fact that he made the decision to put Kyle in the position to defend himself. But if you look up what this guy did, which any idiot can do, I don't care in what scenario that guy passes away, it will be nothing short of a celebration. But no, Mark Ruffalo decides that he wants to weep over it. Matt Walsh, do you normally use cutesy pet names for terrible people, men that do terrible things? I mean, absolutely. I mean, this is Mark Ruffalo, a complete NPC moron who got absolutely destroyed again. And I absolutely love every minute of it.